you've been thinking about getting this TTArtisan's 35mm f1.4, get it now. Apparently it's been discontinued. B&H didn't have it, Autorama didn't have it, and I even went to TTArtisan's website, which led to a dead end. I did end up finding one on eBay. Unfortunately, the very next day after ordering it, I got a message from the seller saying that the lens had been discontinued and he had canceled the order. Luckily, I was able to find a copy of it at Cat Labs. They sent it out right away. I had it in a couple days. I haven't seen anything anywhere that says that this lens has been discontinued. Have you? Maybe it's because it's a pain in the ass to calibrate. As for it being a pain to calibrate, it's really not that bad. And in my opinion, it's totally worth the time. I was able to calibrate this Voigtlander lens right here. I'll link that video for you right here. But no such luck on this Voigtlander right here. This is the Nocton 1.1, and it is just out a little bit. So it's a shame that it can't be calibrated. People in online forums suggesting that you just learn to live with it being out and compensate for that. I just find that laughable. I mean, if you're gonna have an expensive fast lens, you should be able to focus with it. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but if there's no way to adjust it, I mean, that just sucks. So even though it's a pain in the butt to adjust these, I think it's totally worth it. That way, if it falls out a little bit, you can readjust it. Now, I guess you could have a camera that your rangefinder's been knocked out, so that may need to be adjusted, but mine's a fairly new camera. All my other lenses are dialed in very good with it, so I don't have any issue there. If you know of a way to calibrate this lens right here, please leave it in the comments below, because I would absolutely love to be able to tweak this thing just a little bit. Now, when I say it's off, it's not just off at 1.4, it's off throughout the aperture. So, of course, the more you stop down, the more range you're gonna have. When you're aligning everything, when it's actually in focus, it's just off a bit. So you can kind of get used to it, meaning you know how far, focus it and then pull your body back a little bit to compensate for that, but I'd rather not. This thing was expensive. As for this TTArtisan 35mm f1.4, it took me about 30 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer to get it dialed in. Definitely take a test shot. Maybe you'll get lucky. As far as this lens, it was way out. I even thought about sending it back after making some adjustments because it just didn't seem to make a difference as I was turning it back and forth. Make sure you take a look at the instructions. Lay out your calibration chart. You're supposed to be about 6.5 feet or 2 meters away at a 30-degree angle. Take your test shot. If the focusing is too close, turn this brass cam 5mm clockwise. If the focusing point is too far, 5mm counterclockwise. You're gonna repeat these steps until you get it dialed in. Just in case you're not sure what 5mm looks like, here you go. Here's a few things that I think will help you get it dialed in quicker than I did. First, only loosen the screws as much as needed, which is very little, maybe about 1 rotation. Only loosen them enough to where the cam can be rotated. Secondly, focus to infinity. That will put the position of the brass cam at its highest possible position, which makes it easy to get to, and you can get a good feel for it. And lastly, I found that tightening each screw just a little at a time when you're tightening it back up helps it seat better. Now, maybe that's just in my head, but that's just good practice in general. Once you get it close, you might have to start making micro adjustments, meaning less than that 5mm. I was pleasantly surprised when I finally got it dialed in. Now, was it as sharp as this 35mm Leica Summilux f1.4? I don't think so. And how's the bokeh look? I don't know yet because I just got the lens. But I do plan on doing a comparison video, so if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed. I appreciate you sharing your time with me. If you'd like to hang out some more, check out this video right here, and I'll see you there.